God damn it. We are so sorry that gas could not happen here in Kosta. We had made so many plans and we were so excited. People have been remodeling their homes in order to accommodate all of you that were coming. It's really sad. We had big plans. I had plans to make one of the biggest pieces I've ever done in the hot shop. And we're really sorry for the gas not happening. We're sitting now in my studio. Next to me is Ellen
Hi,
Ek,
everyone.
who is the recipient of the award that was awarded in the name of Ulrika Hylman Wallin, my wife, that died 2 years ago. And we are very happy to have Ellen here working with us at Kosta. And we have some plans for today to show you a little bit. What are you going to do today?
Well, I have made a big form out of clay.
Clay?
Yeah, I have experimented during this scholarship that I got. I was able to experiment with some techniques, and I started out playing with some old forms that I found that were used to make big lamps, I think, and started to build inside them with clay and try to blow into that. And it worked really well, and I could have a closed shape and open up. And so now I've been experimenting with the scale. I want to make something that you can feel with your body. So it's going to be
hard work,
big.
isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
For how many blows can one of those molds last?
Actually, we were really surprised. We thought, because it's some of the clay is kind of hanging upside down, so we thought it would fall down, but it's really steady. And we in some forms we've done up to 11 pieces in one. So, but today it's a new clay. I worked with a very smooth clay this time to see if I can have a more smooth surface.
So these pieces are blown in clay?
Yeah,
Are they?
these are the first tries. So I tried different way of processing the clay to get different type of structures. That's upside down.
What?
That's upside down.
Oh, wow. Sorry.
Yeah, how could you know? This one is supposed to be upside and this.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Interesting.
Yeah, it's really, really fun, and it's
Well, this matte surface, how do you get that matte? Is it sandblasted or what?
yeah, sandblasted afterwards. Yeah.
And treated with some oil or
This
something?
one is actually not treated at all, but this one is with some oil that hardens.
It's in a very hard work. I'm very impressed with your the way you make the molds. I mean, you're a small little gal, and those molds weigh up to 200 kilos.
Yeah, the one I made today weighs 100 kilos.
Wow.
So, but I guess for me it's natural because that's my material from the beginning. I worked 25 years with clay. Glass is new, very, very exciting. I'm so happy to be able to be here and work, and it's kind of a little love affair. I realized it's very inspiring to work with all the craftspeople here.
We're really happy to have you here,
Thank you.
Ellen. You know, Kosta is the oldest glass factory. It started 1742. And it's one of the few places on the planet where artists are welcome to work and are given the freedom to experiment. But we also, of course, rely on production.
Yeah.
There are about 200 people working here, and it's our job also to give them job, to design things for production. Have you been thinking of that?
Yeah, I'm actually very eager to also make something. Like I would love to work with simple utensils. I started out with ceramics, with making hand-thrown tableware, and I really enjoyed that those things ended up in people's home. People use them every day, and you get a closeness in that I really like. And then I started to work with sculptures and bigger things, exhibitions and more public commission work. So I really missed that, to be able to also make something not so expensive, something that you really have this close relationship to every day. So I hope I get the chance to do something.
You know
like
what? In my earlier days, when I was in your position, and people were wondering about my artwork, I didn't sell anything. Then just as an example, I did design this glass. It's called Chateau. I'm glad you picked it.
Yeah. My whole family has it in their homes.
And that I designed 1980, and it has been a big seller, and it's still in production. Yeah. And that has kept the factory going, but also given me kind of a good income over the years. That's a tip for you. That's a tip for you.
Well, then I have to make one as good as this one.
Yeah. No, my plans for gas was to make really large boat form, surprised, something like that, but it was going to be like 4 meters long. And I'm so sorry, because I needed the enthusiasm from an audience like the gas people, so that's not going to happen. But today I'm going to cast a few pieces just to show you the technique. Recently I have been very much involved in making those cubes, something like this. You can see one over there. This has been my main occupation over the last year, to work with those. And it's about, the very fragile surface, the very brittle, thin ice that we are living on, not exactly knowing what's going on underneath. We're kind of exploring the space. We don't know very much about space, but what's underneath us, how fragile is the surface that we live on, what do we do with it? And to me then, glass became such a perfect medium to depict water. Yeah. So that's what I've been, that's what my work today is going to be about.
Yeah, I can't help but think about the situation we're in now with the corona and everything. Mm-hmm. It kind of is a little bit how fragile things are, and
that's awful.
The
whole situation reminds us that we should be happy for every day that we are alive and healthy. Work towards staying that way.
Yeah, I remember one of the first times I was here, and I met you in the lunch cafe, and you said to me, "Oh, I'm so happy today. I opened up the cooling kiln, and I was so happy. The color turned out just as I wanted." And you were like this little child, and I was thinking like, wow, that's my goal. I want to be just as happy as you after working so many years, and to still feel that joy. That's amazing.
No, it's true, I mean, the loss of Ulrika, for example, but also I'm 82, and still, I go to work and I do my things, and it's always such an adventure. And the time waiting for the annealer to go down to room temperature and check out, still discoveries, new discoveries. So for sure.
And I'm I'm happy that you're here. It's also been very, for me, when I'm new to glass, so many new, just the language around glass and everything is new. So, and you get so excited because it's happening so fast and all this energy in the hot shop, and then you kind of get a little bit confused about all this amount of excitement and information. And it's been so nice that I've been able to come into you and get some really good advice, like, oh, maybe you need to think like this, and yeah, it felt safe to have your knowledge around.
No, it's an amazing material.
Yeah.
And I feel very privileged, and I think you feel the same, being in this situation, having access to help in the hot shop. I mean, when you work with the team number 12, as we call them, and they are probably the best blowers in the factory, and then having help in the cold working area with the skilled cutters and grinders. It is an unusually privileged situation.
And it's so many different steps, and it takes really skilled person in every, like you say, with the grinders, and and they're really, they are so helpful, and it's amazing for me that normally do everything myself. It's a new situation that you have to depend on that others are able to understand your vision, and it's such an amazing thing when you realize that they are so committed to that. You really, really want to understand you. They really want you to be satisfied with the result. And as soon as there is some hot gloss on the blowing pipe, everyone is like 100% focused on that. And it's something new for me to be able to share that creating moment with others, and it's an energy there that's amazing.
It is.
Yeah.
I just love to work with people, and of course to work with skilled people. I really admire the studio glass people that have their own studio and doing everything from melting the glass, minding the equipment, doing the work, cold working and all that. We must admit that we are lucky.
Yeah. But I think it's a good thing. I mean, you started out with clay too, right?
Right.
And it's something about knowing a material. Even if I'm not so familiar with glass, I know this idea of you try to push a material to its limits, but at the same time you always have to work with the material as well. You can't work against the material.
No.
Like there are some, and it's the same with everything you make by hand, I think. Like you have to be flexible in a way. Everything has to be, the material has to be able to leave some traces of its own, and also all the people involved kind of comes into that.
Yeah, that's very important. You know, some of the design works here comes from well-known designers, and they send their sketches or drawings, but they're not here, and it's almost all the time a failure. You have to be part of the process as a designer or as an artist. You have to know. You have to know where to push, where to exceed the limits, and the only way to know that is being there. So what's your next step? Is this a series that you...
Well, now, I mean, I've only been working in the hot shop, I think, for about 2.5 days together, 5 different times. So it's really new, but I'm very excited. I think I've found a lot of threads to pull both like technically and also that I can take into my narrative, trying to tell a story. And so I will continue with making some clay forms that I have some shows coming up, so I will show different types, bronze, ceramics and glass in that. But I will also try to make something into more a series.
You exhibit quite frequently, not only in Sweden.
Yeah, I have some galleries that I work with around Europe, but also some in Asia. So, yeah.
Yeah. No, sometimes I'm tired of glass. I'm kind of contradicting myself right now. I'm tired of what I'm doing. So I plan to change style now, completely.
Completely?
Completely.
Wow.
I'm going to be a minimalist
Oh,
when I get older.
okay.
No, I'm a storyteller.
Oh,
People tell me I'm a storyteller.
yeah.
I want to tell story, but I don't want to include too many clues.
Yeah.
I don't want to include too many obvious words. So I'm very much looking forward to the next 60 years of my career. I'm going to be a minimalist. My heroes in the art world, I draw mainly inspiration from the art world.
Yeah.
Richard Serra,
Yeah.
I think he's my superhero. But also people like Dan Flavin and many other, Solivit. The fact, if you take a 2x4, a piece of wood,
Yeah.
and you plane it and you sand it and you look at it, and it's beautiful. But if you do the same thing in glass, something magic happens. Then you are, to me, it's like creating a core, a test core into the universe. Those are my plans. But it takes courage to change style.
Yeah.
But that's on my mind right now. I have done
You're a
this.
very brave person.
Not brave enough.
I believe you are. Yeah.
So I have been doing a series that I call gestures, that are based on geometrical forms, mainly the bar, and I see them as form catching light, but also as bringing in light.
Is that something? You showed me some sketches for the museum. You're building for a museum.
Yes.
Is that the ones you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think you've seen them. I'll show them
Okay.
to you later.
Maybe you just told me the idea because
perhaps
I
so.
visioned it in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but you're a very busy person.
I am. You see, I have two occupations. I have a red hat and I have a black hat. One is to be an artist, and the other one is to be a designer. And I try to work on both areas at the same time. I do design quite a lot of pieces for production, and also, do my exhibitions and installations.
Yeah.
You look busy.
I am. I'm kind of trying to see your watch there, because I know I have a time to catch in the hot shop. I need to start.
Good luck, Ellen.
Yeah.
Good luck.
And you are going to go some casting, right?
Yeah, I'm going to do something like this.
Ah.
Like this. A standing piece like that.
Ah. Okay.
I've done so many horizontal pieces, so I'm now starting to do some vertical ones. So we're doing one today.
Now I have to go and fix my clay form.
Good luck. Good luck.
See you. Well, welcome to studio number 12. We have some amazing craftspeople working here, like the really best glass blowers. So I'm super excited to work with them. And well, today we're gonna make quite a big piece in a big clay mold that I made. And we're gonna start out, they've actually already started with heating up the colors. We are going to work with double layered colors. There will be one opaque green color and one transparent color on top. And the inspiration is the really foresty green. I grew up not far from here in the forest, so I've always been inspired by the forms and the colors and the kind of mystique that you find in the woods. Det blir spännande. Some clear glass that will be a mid layer between the colors, and that will prevent from the colors to kind of behave differently and maybe crack. So helt enkelt, inte så röd.
Vart tog han vägen uppe?
Ja, han gick iväg med Andreas från Slipen. So this is a transparent green that will now go on top of the other layer.
Det är 38 där vid.
Ja, det bredaste.
Ja, var det tilltaget eller var det exakt? Eller?
Ja, det är exakt. Så den är ju så här, så jag har ju försökt att ta det bredaste, men det kan ju diffa en halv centimeter, en centimeter kanske. 39.
Jag har gått och mätt på de här tanken på det, på de tuberna är så de är inte rund. De är 43.
Ja,
Så man mäter det där är det bara 39.
just det.
Så
Den är så
i botten
liten.
är den platt. Varför de gör det? För jag gjorde inte det när jag gör det nu.
Nej,
Jag får försöka. Jag kan in den för du ska blästa den sen.
nej.
Det ska du inte göra.
Det är därför jag har byggt med porslin nu, för det blir så mycket repor på. Så. Ja, vi får skippa och blåsa något i det.
Ja, det vill du inte.
Nej, jag tänkte ändå det försvann lite.
Vad fan, jag vet inte om vi skulle ställa den här.
Nej.
Vi skulle springa här emellan. Och den tar ju en jävla plats.
Ja, den gör ju det. Men hur fort går det att värma upp den då? Om man behöver till nästa bit?
Alltså, nej, det går inte.
Det går inte, nej. Okej. Ja, men då...
Det tar ju 1,5 timme.
Ja.
Så ska vi hämta den där.
Just det. Nej, men det...
Men jag ska testa.
Ja,
Är det så det blir? Eller är det kakmärke och busa det?
det fixar vi. So this is wet clay, and the top layer is actually porcelain to get a really smooth surface. And the tricky part is to get this to match on this side. So that's always the hard part, to get it perfect in this when it comes together. So the clay is really wet, and we'll try to keep it as moist as possible so we can do several blowings into this form. And it has to be so that all of these are formed so they actually release the shape, not that they have any things going the wrong way and so on. So it's a little tricky in the making, but I hope it will work. You never really know when you work this kind of experimental, but I hope it's gonna work. And it's the first time we use this very smooth clay. We've used the clay that they build the bottom in the kilns before, but it made some scratches to the glass, so we try different clay now and see if it works.
slippa bort hälften sen. Ja,
Det är en opak grön och en transparent grön uppe på. Det är så. Får vi se. So it gets heavier and heavier. Sen.
Bara rutan brädan är
Jag ska inte hålla på med pannan. Ja, det är färdigt.
Så är du med nu då? So it's super heavy. Det hade varit fint att blåsa upp den lite, men det går inte nu va?
Nej.
Nej. Men färgen blir bra.
En här va?
Kör då.
Då kör vi! Ja.
Välkomna till Kosta. Det här är gänget, stjärngänget. These are the stars of the hot shop. Åke, Ulrik, Janos, Satsko, Sam, Sissan och David. Då kör vi! All right.
Det är det viktiga.
Okej, och sen? Och den?
Den är huvudet.
Ja, den. Så. All right. Vi får nog ta...
Vilken vill du börja?
Jag tror vi får börja med huvudet, tror jag, ganska fort. Vi tar huvudet efter andra ilägget.
Det skulle höja lite grann så här. Det var på gränsen.
Vänta, det är lite Ulrik. Nej, tredje. Efter tredje ilägget. Ja. Ja, ska jag prova om den går? Okej. Var det det? Ja.
Ska vi ta kulan?
Ja. Ta kulan. Så, nu ska vi ha lite annat skit. Kom. Ja. Jag väntar några. Det är för tidigt med den. Tar vi den sen. Jag väntar med den lite grann. Har du någon pil, Sessan? Nej.
Jag kommer tillbaka till dig, David.
Okej.
Jag lägger över ansiktet på ett eller?
Ja, nu kan du köra.
Dra över hela här.
Ja.
Det är slut va?
Då börjar vi fylla den.
Ja. Bra. Bra, bra. Det är fint ut, Tessan.
A very unusual part of Kosta Boda factory is that we still are making our own crucibles, our pots for the hot shop. It's remarkable that operation has survived, but everybody here believes that the pots we are making ourselves are the very best. Ellen Ek, who received the award, the Ulrika Hyman Award, is working as a guest artist right now at the factory, and here she is preparing one of her blown objects that have been sandblasted, and now she's treating the surface to make it more permanent with an oil. Cold working, as you all know, the most boring part of our job with glass. Here you see my friend Kilani, he's from Syria, and working on one of my vertical pieces. We use a handheld tool with all kinds of different heads, from very coarse to actually polishing pads for it. The paint shop at Kosta is a very important part. Right now you see Diana, who is painting one of Ulrika's pieces. So we are doing a selection of her work in honor to her. Also in the paint shop, many of the inclusions that I use in my castings are being prepared. We use a very high temperature resistant paint that will retain its colors in the actual casting. We are now in the art gallery at the Kosta factory, where we have an exhibition explaining all the different techniques that we are working with in the factory. It's a very versatile operation. Everything from working in the hot shop with all the different techniques, sandblasting, etching, engraving, blowing, casting. So this exhibition is all about the different techniques that we work with at Kosta Glass Factory.